Ladies and gentlemen, life is not about chasing others. It is about becoming someone worth chasing. Too often, we expend our energy seeking validation, approval, and acceptance from people who may not even recognize our worth. We mold ourselves to fit into their expectations, sacrificing our individuality in the process. But here's the truth. When you abandon yourself in pursuit of others, you lose the very essence of who you are. Instead of chasing people, start finding yourself. Develop discipline. Take responsibility for your own growth. Understand what you truly want rather than blindly following someone else's idea of success or happiness. Because the world doesn't reward those who seek validation. It rewards those who build themselves into something undeniable. So today I want you to ask yourself, are you running after people who don't value you, or are you building a life so meaningful that the right people are drawn to you? The choice is yours. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek approval. As children, we look to our parents and teachers for validation, gauging our worth through their praise or disappointment. As we grow older, this tendency doesn't disappear. It evolves. We start measuring ourselves by how many friends we have, how many likes our posts receive, or how often people acknowledge our presence. This constant pursuit of validation becomes an addiction, one that shapes our thoughts, decisions, and even our sense of identity. But there is a fundamental problem with this approach. When you let external approval dictate your self-worth, you hand over control of your life to others. Seeking validation is a subtle but powerful force that dictates the way people behave. It can lead to people-pleasing, where an individual sacrifices their own needs and values just to gain acceptance. It can manifest as insecurity, where one's confidence fluctuates based on how others perceive them. It can also create a dependency on external reinforcement, where a person feels lost or unworthy without constant affirmation. The problem with this is that it places personal value in the hands of those who may not truly understand or appreciate it. The opinions of others become the mirror through which one sees themselves. And if that mirror distorts, so does the person's self-image. One of the biggest dangers of seeking validation is that it makes a person mold themselves into something they are not. Instead of acting based on their own principles and beliefs, they adjust their behavior to fit societal expectations or to please a certain group. This can lead to a fragmented identity, one where a person becomes so accustomed to playing different roles that they forget who they truly are. So they begin to filter their actions, opinions, and even their dreams through the lens of how others might perceive them. The fear of disapproval becomes so overwhelming that it stifles authenticity. They lose the ability to think and act freely because every decision is weighed against the fear of being judged. Another consequence of constantly seeking validation is the erosion of self-trust. When someone relies on external approval to feel worthy, they gradually lose the ability to validate themselves. Instead of listening to their own instincts and judgment, they wait for someone else to tell them whether they are good enough. This creates a fragile sense of self-esteem that is easily shattered when validation is withheld. If someone praises them, they feel worthy. If someone criticizes them, they feel like a failure. Their self-worth becomes a fluctuating metric dependent on the unpredictable opinions of others. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and even resentment, because no amount of external validation is ever truly enough to fill the void left by a lack of self-acceptance. The pursuit of validation is particularly dangerous in relationships. People often stay in toxic friendships, unfulfilling jobs, or unhealthy romantic relationships simply because they are afraid of losing approval. They tolerate disrespect, compromise their values, and suppress their true feelings just to maintain acceptance. In doing so, they sacrifice their own well-being for the illusion of belonging. But true connection cannot be built on the fear of rejection. It must come from a place of self-assurance, where a person values themselves enough to walk away from situations that diminish them. Social media has amplified the validation trap to an unprecedented level. The instant gratification of likes, comments, and shares has conditioned people to equate their self-worth with online engagement. The pressure to maintain a certain image, to post content that garners approval, and to present an idealized version of life has led many to abandon their true selves in favor of curated perfection. The problem with this is that it creates a false sense of identity, one that is dependent on external validation to exist. When the likes stop coming, when the attention fades, many are left feeling empty and disconnected from their real selves. True confidence does not come from the approval of others. It comes from self-acceptance, from knowing one's own value without needing constant reassurance. It requires a shift in mindset, one where a person stops looking outward for validation and starts looking inward for self-affirmation. This shift is not easy. It requires breaking free from the deeply ingrained habit of seeking approval. It requires learning to sit with discomfort when validation is withheld. It requires understanding that disapproval from others is not a reflection of personal worth, but rather a difference in perspective. When a person stops seeking validation, they gain freedom. The freedom to express themselves authentically, to pursue their passions without fear of judgment, and to make decisions based on their own values rather than the expectations of others. This shift allows them to build genuine confidence, one that does not waver based on external opinions. Taking responsibility for your growth is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Many people go through life waiting for circumstances to change, hoping that someone will come along and guide them to success. They look for mentors, opportunities, or the right moment to begin. While guidance and support are valuable, the truth is that no one can build your life for you. The responsibility of your personal development lies solely in your hands. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can start making real progress. Personal growth is not something that happens by chance. It requires deliberate effort, conscious choices, and a willingness to confront discomfort. Growth is often painful because it demands that you face your weaknesses, acknowledge your limitations, and take accountability for your actions. It is much easier to blame external circumstances, your upbringing, your environment, your past mistakes, but these excuses only serve to keep you stagnant. The reality is that no matter where you start, no matter what challenges you face, you have the ability to improve. The first step is recognizing that your future is shaped by the decisions you make today. Many people avoid taking responsibility for their growth because it means letting go of victimhood. It is tempting to believe that life is unfair, that others have it easier, and that success is only available to a select few. This mindset provides comfort because it removes the burden of action. If everything is outside of your control, then there is no reason to try. But this way of thinking is self-defeating. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of inaction, frustration, and regret. The moment you decide to take full ownership of your life, everything changes. You stop waiting, you stop making excuses, and you start finding solutions. One of the most important aspects of personal growth is discipline. Many people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes based on how you feel in the moment. Discipline, on the other hand, is a habit that allows you to stay committed even when you don't feel like it. It is waking up early to work on your goals, even when you are tired. It is pushing yourself to learn new skills, even when it is difficult. It is following through on your commitments, even when it is inconvenient. Discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who simply wish for success. Another key factor in personal growth is self-awareness. Many people move through life without ever truly understanding themselves. They follow the crowd, adopt beliefs without questioning them, and allow their emotions to dictate their actions. Without self-awareness, growth is impossible. You must take the time to reflect on who you are, what you value, and what you want to achieve. This means being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. It means recognizing destructive habits and making a conscious effort to change them. It means developing the ability to step back and analyze your own behavior rather than simply reacting to the world around you. A major barrier to growth is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. Many people avoid stepping outside of their comfort zones because they are afraid of making mistakes. They fear that if they try and fail, they will look foolish. But failure is not something to be feared. It is an essential part of growth. Every successful person has failed countless times. The difference is that they did not let failure define them. They learned from their mistakes, adapted, and continued moving forward. Growth requires resilience, the ability to face setbacks without losing sight of your goals. Taking responsibility for your growth also means surrounding yourself with the right influences. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the habits you cultivate all shape your mindset. If you are constantly around negativity, it will be difficult to maintain a positive outlook. If you fill your mind with distractions, you will struggle to focus on what truly matters. You must be intentional about the influences in your life. Seek out people who inspire you, books that challenge you, and environments that push you to be better. Growth does not happen in isolation. It is reinforced by the world you build around yourself. Another important aspect of personal development is learning to take action despite uncertainty. Many people wait until they feel ready before they begin working on their goals. They tell themselves they need more time, more information, or more confidence. But waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion. Growth happens through action, not hesitation. You will never feel completely ready, and that is okay. The key is to start before you feel prepared, to take small steps, and to learn as you go. Progress is not about making giant leaps. It is about consistently showing up and doing the work, day after day. Developing a strong identity is one of the most crucial aspects of living a fulfilled and meaningful life. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of who they are, allowing external influences to shape their beliefs, values, and decisions. They seek validation from others, conform to societal expectations, and adopt identities that are not truly their own. This lack of self-definition leads to confusion, insecurity, and a constant feeling of being lost. Without a strong identity, it becomes easy to be swayed by the opinions of others, manipulated by circumstances, and disconnected from one's true self. A strong identity begins with self-awareness. This means taking the time to reflect on what truly matters to you, independent of what others think or expect. It requires asking deep and uncomfortable questions. What do I believe in? What are my core values? What kind of life do I want to live? Many people avoid these questions because they force them to confront the possibility that they have been living inauthentically. However, avoiding self-reflection only leads to more confusion and dissatisfaction. True clarity comes from understanding yourself at a fundamental level, recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, and embracing your uniqueness. One of the biggest challenges in developing a strong identity is overcoming the pressure to conform. Society constantly imposes expectations, what to believe, how to behave, and even what success should look like. From a young age, people are taught to follow certain paths, whether it be in education, career, relationships, or lifestyle choices. Those who deviate from the norm often face criticism or rejection, making it tempting to conform rather than embrace individuality. But the cost of conformity is the loss of authenticity. Living according to external expectations may bring temporary acceptance, but it ultimately leads to inner conflict and dissatisfaction. True fulfillment comes from having the courage to define your own path, even if it goes against the grain. Another key aspect of a strong identity is having firm principles. Many people lack a clear sense of what they stand for, which makes them easily influenced by external forces. They change their opinions based on what is popular, alter their behavior to fit different social circles, and abandon their beliefs when challenged. This instability weakens self-confidence and makes it difficult to make meaningful decisions. Having a strong identity means knowing what you stand for and refusing to compromise on essential values. It means having the strength to say no when something goes against your principles, and the resilience to stand by your beliefs, even in the face of criticism. A major factor in developing a strong identity is learning to separate self-worth from external achievements. Many people tie their identity to their job title, social status, financial success, or relationships. While these aspects of life can be important, they do not define who you are at your core. If your sense of self is built on external validation, then any setback, losing a job, facing financial struggles, or experiencing a failed relationship can leave you feeling lost and worthless. A strong identity is built from within, rooted in self-acceptance, integrity, and personal values rather than external accomplishments. When you know who you are beyond your achievements, you become resilient in the face of challenges. Emotional independence is another crucial element of a strong identity. Many people allow their emotions to be dictated by others, becoming overly dependent on external approval or constantly seeking reassurance. They feel happy when praised, discouraged when criticized, and anxious when uncertain about how they are perceived. This emotional dependence weakens identity because it places personal well-being in the hands of others. Developing a strong identity requires learning to regulate emotions internally, finding confidence in your own self-perception rather than relying on the approval of others. It means embracing both strengths and flaws, accepting yourself fully without needing outside validation. Personal growth plays a significant role in strengthening identity. Growth is a continuous process of learning, adapting, and refining oneself. Many people remain stagnant because they fear change or resist stepping outside their comfort zones. However, true self-discovery happens when you challenge yourself, take on new experiences, and push beyond limitations. This doesn't mean abandoning core values, but rather expanding self-awareness and evolving as an individual. A strong identity is not rigid. It is adaptable and capable of growth while remaining grounded in authenticity. Taking control of your narrative is another essential part of developing a strong identity. Many people allow past experiences, negative opinions, or societal labels to define them. They carry the weight of past failures, mistakes, and criticisms, letting these define who they are. But identity is not something fixed. It is something you actively shape. You have the power to redefine yourself, to choose how you see yourself, and to write your own story. This requires letting go of limiting beliefs, rejecting negative labels, and focusing on the person you want to become, rather than the person you were conditioned to be. Investing in your purpose is one of the most important things you can do to create a meaningful and fulfilling life. Many people drift aimlessly, unsure of what direction to take, spending their time chasing temporary pleasures, external validation, or material success without a deeper sense of purpose. Without purpose, life can feel empty, no matter how much success or recognition is achieved. Purpose is what gives life direction, meaning, and a sense of fulfillment that cannot be found in superficial accomplishments. It is the foundation upon which true success is built. Finding your purpose is not always easy. It requires deep self-reflection, trial and error, and the willingness to explore different paths. Many people expect purpose to reveal itself effortlessly, as if it will suddenly become clear one day without effort. But in reality, purpose is something that must be actively sought, cultivated, and refined over time. It is not always a single grand revelation, but rather an ongoing process of discovering what truly matters to you and aligning your life with it. One of the first steps to investing in your purpose is identifying what genuinely excites and fulfills you. This is not about what society tells you should matter, what others expect of you, or what seems like the most practical option. It is about understanding what resonates with you on a deep level. This could be a passion, a cause, a creative pursuit, a skill, or a way of serving others. The key is to recognize patterns in what brings you a sense of fulfillment and to lean into those areas. It may take time, experimentation, and even failure, but clarity comes from action, not from waiting. Once you have a sense of your purpose, the next step is commitment. Many people have vague dreams and ambitions, but very few are willing to fully commit to them. True investment in your purpose means dedicating time, energy, and effort consistently, even when progress is slow or challenges arise. It means prioritizing what matters over distractions, making sacrifices when necessary, and being willing to endure setbacks for the sake of long-term fulfillment. Without commitment, purpose remains just an idea rather than something that shapes your life. A critical part of investing in your purpose is developing the necessary skills and knowledge to bring it to life. Passion alone is not enough. It must be backed by competence. This means being willing to learn, practice, and refine your abilities over time. Many people give up too soon because they expect immediate success, but mastery takes time. Whether it is building a career, starting a business, creating art, or making an impact in a certain field, continuous learning is essential. The more skilled you become, the more capable you are of making your purpose a reality. Discipline is another key factor in investing in your purpose. Many people rely on motivation, but motivation is inconsistent. It fluctuates based on mood, circumstances, and external influences. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps you moving forward even when motivation fades. It is the ability to show up and put in the work every single day, regardless of how you feel. This means setting clear goals, establishing routines, and holding yourself accountable. Purpose is not just about passion, it is about perseverance, consistency, and the willingness to push through challenges. One of the biggest obstacles to fully investing in your purpose is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of uncertainty. Many people hesitate to commit to their purpose because they are afraid they will not succeed or that others will not support them. But fear is a natural part of the process. Every person who has ever pursued something meaningful has faced doubt and uncertainty. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to move forward despite fear. Growth happens outside of comfort zones, and embracing discomfort is essential for progress. Surrounding yourself with the right people is also crucial when investing in your purpose. The people you spend time with can either fuel your growth or hold you back. If you are constantly around negativity, doubt, or people who do not support your ambitions, it will be difficult to stay focused. Seek out individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and encourage you to reach higher. This could be mentors, like-minded peers, or even role models you learn from indirectly through books, podcasts, or other sources. The right environment can make all the difference in staying committed to your purpose. Another important aspect of investing in your purpose is understanding that fulfillment comes from contribution. Purpose is not just about personal success. It is about creating value, making an impact, and contributing something meaningful to the world. True purpose is rarely self-centered. It involves using your skills, talents, and passions to serve others in some way. This could mean helping people, solving problems, inspiring change, or leaving a lasting legacy. When your purpose is tied to something greater than yourself, it becomes even more powerful and sustainable. Many people struggle with self-doubt when pursuing their purpose. They question whether they are capable, whether they are on the right path, and whether their efforts will pay off. This doubt is natural, but it should not be a reason to stop. The key is to keep moving forward even when clarity is not perfect. The path to purpose is rarely linear. It involves twists, turns, failures, and unexpected detours. But each step, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture. Progress is built over time, and the commitment to continuous effort is what ultimately leads to fulfillment. Embracing solitude is one of the most transformative things you can do for your personal growth and self-discovery. Many people fear being alone because they associate solitude with loneliness, but these are two entirely different experiences. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, a sense of lacking connection or companionship, while solitude is a state of being at peace with yourself, using time alone as an opportunity to reflect, grow, and reconnect with who you truly are. In a world filled with constant distractions, social pressures, and the need for external validation, learning to embrace solitude is a powerful way to develop inner strength and clarity. One of the most important aspects of solitude is that it allows you to hear your own thoughts without the noise of outside influences. Many people shape their beliefs, goals, and desires based on what others expect of them. They follow trends, seek approval, and conform to societal standards without questioning whether these choices align with their true selves. When you spend time alone, you remove the influence of external voices and allow yourself to think independently. This is when true self-awareness develops, helping you understand what you genuinely value, what excites you, and what direction you want to take in life. Solitude is also essential for developing emotional resilience. Many people rely on constant social interaction as a way to avoid facing their own emotions. They use distractions, whether through social media, entertainment, or relationships, to escape from dealing with their inner struggles. But avoiding emotions does not make them disappear. It only suppresses them temporarily. When you embrace solitude, you create the space to process your emotions, confront your fears, and work through personal challenges. This leads to greater self-reliance, emotional stability, and the ability to handle life's ups and downs with greater strength. Another significant benefit of solitude is increased creativity and problem-solving ability. Some of the greatest thinkers, writers, and innovators throughout history have credited solitude as an essential part of their creative process. When you step away from distractions and external noise, your mind has the freedom to wander, explore new ideas, and make deeper connections. Solitude encourages introspection, imagination, and a level of thinking that is not possible when you are constantly engaged with others. Whether you are an artist, entrepreneur, or simply someone looking for new solutions to challenges, solitude provides the mental clarity necessary for deeper insights and breakthroughs. Spending time alone also strengthens self-confidence. Many people struggle with self-doubt because they depend too much on external validation. They feel the need to be constantly surrounded by others to feel worthy, important, or successful. However, true confidence does not come from other people's approval. It comes from within. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you stop relying on others to define your self-worth. You become comfortable with yourself, trust your own judgment, and develop a sense of independence that makes you stronger in all areas of life. One of the reasons people resist solitude is because it forces them to face their insecurities. When you are constantly surrounded by distractions, you can avoid confronting difficult thoughts and emotions. But when you are alone, there is nowhere to hide. You are faced with yourself, your fears, and the aspects of your life that you may have been avoiding. While this can be uncomfortable at first, it is also an opportunity for growth. Facing your inner struggles allows you to work through them, heal, and become a stronger, more self-aware individual. Solitude also plays a vital role in helping you set clear goals and priorities. When you are constantly engaged with others, it is easy to get caught up in their expectations, opinions, and desires. You may end up pursuing goals that are not truly your own or making decisions based on what others think is best for you. When you take time alone, you gain perspective on what you genuinely want in life. You can evaluate your goals, reflect on your progress, and make intentional decisions that align with your values. This clarity leads to a more focused and purpose-driven life. Developing a habit of solitude also improves self-discipline. When you are alone, you are fully responsible for your time, decisions, and actions. There is no one else to hold you accountable or influence your behavior. This forces you to develop self-discipline and self-motivation. Whether it is dedicating time to learning, working on personal projects, or improving yourself in any way, solitude allows you to cultivate the ability to stay committed without needing external pressure. This is a critical skill for long-term success in any area of life. Embracing solitude does not mean isolating yourself from others or avoiding relationships. Human connection is important, but it should not come at the expense of your own growth and self-discovery. When you cultivate a strong relationship with yourself, you bring more depth and authenticity to your interactions with others. You develop a greater sense of self-respect, set healthier boundaries, and attract relationships that are based on genuine connection rather than dependent. Time spent in solitude allows you to recharge, reflect, and return to social interactions with greater confidence and clarity. In modern society, solitude has become increasingly rare. With constant digital connectivity, notifications, and endless entertainment options, it is easy to fill every moment with external stimuli. However, the ability to sit in silence without distractions and simply be with yourself is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. It strengthens your mind, deepens your understanding of yourself, and empowers you to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. Letting go of external validation is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. Many people go through life seeking approval from others, shaping their actions, beliefs, and even their personalities based on what they think will be accepted and admired. They constantly measure their worth through the lens of external validation, whether it's through social media likes, praise from colleagues, admiration from friends, or societal recognition. But living for the approval of others is a fragile way to exist. It makes happiness conditional, self-worth unstable, and decisions dependent on factors outside of personal control. True freedom and confidence come when you stop seeking permission to be yourself and start validating your own worth from within. One of the main reasons people crave external validation is because they have not yet built a strong internal foundation. They look to others to define their value because they have not done the inner work to establish their own sense of. This is often the result of conditioning from childhood, where approval from parents, teachers, and authority figures was necessary for acceptance. Over time, this need for validation becomes ingrained, making people overly sensitive to criticism and dependent on praise. However, the reality is that no amount of external approval will ever be enough if you do not first approve of yourself. Self-worth must come from within, and this requires actively working on self-acceptance, self-awareness, and self-respect. One of the biggest traps of external validation is that it creates a constant need for more. The satisfaction that comes from being praised, admired, or recognized is always temporary. It feels good in the moment, but it quickly fades, leaving behind a craving for the next dose of approval. This is why people often become addicted to social media, constantly refreshing their feeds to see if they've received likes or comments. It's why some individuals stay in unhealthy relationships, tolerate toxic friendships, or pursue careers that don't fulfill them, because they believe that as long as they are admired by others, they are successful. But this cycle is endless, and it never leads to genuine fulfillment. The only way to break free is to detach from the need for constant validation and instead focus on internal growth. Letting go of external validation also requires accepting that not everyone will like or approve of you, and that's okay. Many people struggle with the idea of being misunderstood, judged, or criticized, so they go to great lengths to fit in and be accepted. They suppress their true opinions, downplay their uniqueness, and mold themselves to meet the expectations of others. But the truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be people who disapprove. Trying to please everyone is a losing battle. The more you try to appeal to others, the more you lose touch with your authentic self. True confidence comes from embracing who you are without needing everyone's approval. It means standing by your beliefs, expressing your true self, and being okay with the fact that not everyone will agree with or admire you. A key part of overcoming the need for external validation is learning to trust yourself. Many people doubt their own instincts and decisions because they have been conditioned to rely on others for guidance. They seek reassurance before making choices, ask for permission to follow their dreams, and hesitate to take action unless they are sure they will be supported. But the most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who trust themselves. They make decisions based on their values, intuition, and goals, rather than waiting for others to approve. Developing self-trust requires taking responsibility for your life, making choices with confidence, and learning from mistakes instead of fearing them. Another powerful way to break free from the need for validation is by redefining success on your own terms. Many people chase traditional markers of success, wealth, status, popularity, because they believe these will earn them admiration and approval. But success should not be about how many people applaud your achievements. It should be about living a life that is aligned with your personal values and aspirations. When you stop measuring success by external validation and instead define it based on your own growth, fulfillment, and impact, you gain true independence. You no longer need outside approval to feel accomplished because you know that your journey is meaningful, regardless of whether others recognize it. Developing inner validation also requires shifting your focus from seeking approval to seeking mastery. Instead of worrying about what others think, focus on becoming better at what you do. Whether it's your career, a skill, or personal development, the goal should be to improve and grow, not to impress. When you shift your mindset in this way, validation becomes irrelevant because the fulfillment comes from the process itself, not from external recognition. Mastery builds confidence, and confidence eliminates the need for approval. A major obstacle to letting go of external validation is the fear of rejection or failure. Many people hold themselves back because they worry about being judged if they make mistakes or fail publicly. But failure is inevitable, and rejection is part of life. The difference between those who are trapped by fear and those who break free is the ability to see failure as a lesson rather than a reflection of worth. When you stop fearing failure, you also stop fearing judgment. You begin to realize that other people's opinions do not define you, and their approval does not determine your potential. Cultivating self-validation also means learning to appreciate yourself, celebrate your achievements, and acknowledge your progress without needing outside recognition. Many people are quick to seek praise from others, but slow to give themselves credit. They downplay their own successes and wait for someone else to acknowledge them before feeling accomplished. But self-validation means recognizing your own worth, setting your own standards, and feeling proud of your growth, regardless of whether others notice. It means knowing that you are enough, not because someone else says so, but because you believe it for yourself.